Shit. Can you hold that a second?
Absolutely. What we're doing is we're just going to be live streaming it there, and see all the comments beginning to come in. And then we're going to... Sorry? And then we're going to count it as well. I'll stand up there and count it as it passes, because the marks are still together, and it's probably going to get a lot more. Aye. Easily, you know. It's still the minute. It's still hanging.
Yes, monitor. I like Unionist. Oh, stop. Right, a couple of the this is obviously organised in the Sweden and over there. This is one thing I'm saying that we're trying to keep it okay. Keep it after him, they're not saying.
Your protest happening.
Right, aye. Well,
Have you put on the orange pages on Facebook then? We were all commenting on it, the whenever knew it was a protest on.
well, the thing is to do that in future. It's certainly the biggest one that's yes. And they started doing that 2 years ago. This March is 12 of us. This time round, weeks ago, there's 80.
I mean, they're not saying what you said. That was remember that's what you said before.
I mean, I'm just going to look at that if more people like myself that are in the army had a phone about it, then we would have,
Well,
I'm on your page on Facebook.
you're also
So numbers and all that, and I know Kadeva having that going.
I do.
quick crowd.
That Jennifer Layton, or just the big thing Sunday, the lads, that
Take an early train here.
all out.
All right.
That she had
Aye. Right, Alistair. See you later, mate.
Nice meeting you.
See you later.
Have fun.
What I'm doing is I'm doing a live stream here, so that and it's a good time to meet guys. This is live.
I never seen you in politics last match.
Yeah.
I was supposed to ring a match. Everyone's like, you need to go to the match. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm like, oh man, this shit.
No, you were here early. Jim was here with the first one.
Had the LA show.
So I'll talk about I'm just going to walk with you. Right, mate.
All right.
How do you do?
Nice to meet you, Alistair.
What route you seen a few of your videos? Oh, good. Thanks very much. How do you do? No, we're doing a live stream at the moment, so we're broadcasting from about 15 minutes ago, and we'll just follow the march round right out to Glasgow Green, just so everybody can see it, and to see the good numbers. The first time that this has been tried.
And considering the weather as well.
Aye.
There's a lot of people off.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if they can keep this up like once a year, have a big Unionist march once a year, well, they're going to grow and grow. They'll just grow and grow and grow, because the Scottish Nationalist marches are not going away. They've already organised another 8 for 2020, you know, so they are committed to the long term. So we have to... Yeah. I think it's at the end of the day, there's more of us than there are of them. We're at all their marches, and it's the same faces. But I think we start to touch the Unionists.
They're working now.
The time we did.
All right, down the back.
Silent majority.
You hear me, Greer?
Aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, information before we get started here this morning. You'll see the park benches right round the square here. There is flags lining the benches for your use, free of charge. Please help yourself to them. Just been informed that there are people walking about the square selling flags for £6. That's not been commissioned by British Together. There are free flags here for everybody lining the benches. Please help yourself to the free flags. If you run out, buy the guys' flags now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to George Square for the Maintain the Union rally and march. It's a wonderful turnout, and the weather's not just so good. It's good to see so many Unionists here in support of something that's very close to our hearts as we try to maintain the Union for everybody in this country. We're in George Square, we're proud to be here. This square is named after King George III. King of Great Britain, the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. This square was developed in 1801. the same year as the Act of Union and the formation of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Hence the name George Square, named after the King of the Day. This truly is a Unionist square. This square should be used for the gathering place in any future independence campaign, any future referendum. This should be the focal point for the Unionist people, the people who won the vote the last time, the 55% of the people. This is your square. This is the square of the Union. This is the square of King George. Be proud to be here. Don't let the nationalists take it over the way they've done the last time and ruin this city. This is unionism. Today we stand up for what is right for the future of our country and for its citizens. As the chairman of British Together, it gives me the greatest of pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, a past chairman of British Together, Mr. Henry Dunbar. Thank you.
Good morning. Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased and proud to be here today, and thank you very much for inviting me to speak to this brilliant gathering here today. Just a couple of weeks ago, an independence march passed through this very square. I don't know if any of you saw it. It was some sight. Robert the Bruce was there. So was William Wallace. It was Brigadoon in kilts, Hart in camis and Jimmy hats. And there were flags, loads of them. Scottish saltires, as you would imagine. Catalan flags, Palestinian flags, and Irish tricolours. It's a safe bet you all know why. Well, there's plenty of saltires here today, because we're just as proud as they are to be Scottish. But there's also plenty of Union flags, because unlike the nationalists, we are not ashamed to be British. And unlike the nationalists, we don't break the law. You can be assured, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a legal gathering, properly notified and properly stewarded. They said they had 100,000 at the march. Aye, that'll be right. The police estimated 35,000, but even that was generous. A force for good videoed the march and counted heads. There were fewer than 9,000. Well, there's a fair crowd here today, but I'll save the Evening Times the bother by saying here and now that there's probably less than 9,000. We won't be making any ridiculous claims. At the end of the day, it's not the numbers at the rally that matter, it's the numbers at the ballot box. Hey! And let me remind the Tartan warriors of all under one banner, who seem to think they can fool us into believing that all of Scotland is clamouring for independence. It's only been 5 years since Scotland voted by a clear majority to remain part of the United Kingdom. And let me remind Nicola Sturgeon here today and her ruling cabal that that was supposed to be once in a generation vote. Nicola said it herself, and 5 years is certainly not a generation. Back in 2014, they tried to hoodwink us into believing there was a strong economic case for independence. They produced a 670-page document that was more fantasy than fact. But the people of Scotland saw through the dodgy figures and the speculation. Now they want to have another go at an independence referendum. And you'd think they'd at least put together a stronger economic case. But incredibly, they haven't. We got a Growth Commission report that was so painfully honest about the economic consequences of independence that have been desperately trying to play it down just as a discussion document. Their growth report admits what they were trying to deny back in 2014, that oil revenues were woven into the figures. Well, we all know what's happened to oil and the oil price since then. And the Scottish Nationalist's very own report warns us that independence will require higher taxation, more borrowing, public spending cuts, and eye-watering austerity that will make today's austerity look like a walk in the park. Of course, thanks to the Scottish Nationalist Party, we're already paying higher taxes in Scotland than the rest of the United Kingdom. And the reality is, Nicola, that some families are having to rely on food banks, and their ex-servicemen are having to sleep in the streets of this city of Scotland. Shame on you! Ladies and gentlemen, it's a genuine worry that Scotland's financial affairs are in the hands of a total incompetent called Derek Mackay. It's frightening how bad this guy is at handling our finances. Can you believe it? He recently went on a course to improve his public speaking. Though, not a course to sharpen his economic skills, but a course to make him perform better in front of a microphone. You couldn't make it up. But doesn't that just sum up Nicola Sturgeon's administration? They've got an army of PR advisors and spin doctors churning out impressive sound bites and soothing reassurances to paper over every failure and every disaster. And ladies and gentlemen, there have been plenty of failures and disasters. For a party of grievance that complains endlessly about Westminster control and how they just don't have enough levers of power at Holyrood, they've been a total embarrassment. Any time they've handed new powers, just ask the farmers. They had to wait for EU farm subsidies that the Scottish government had in the bank, but couldn't pay out because they couldn't get an expensive new computer program to work. Then there's the social security benefits. After years of carping, Westminster finally agreed to devolve some welfare benefits to Holyrood. Not only has Sturgeon's pitiful administration been unable to take control after all their whining and complaining, but they told Westminster they wouldn't be able to handle them until 2021. Now they've announced a further delay until 2024. This hasn't stopped these brass-necked posers from complaining about how badly the UK Department of Work and Pensions is and how they administer these benefits. The Scottish Nationalist Party, they've got no shame. 8 years to take control of social security benefits. This is the same team who told us back in 2014 that it would only take 18 months to set up a fully functioning independent Scotland. Nonsense! And now there's a VAT debacle. Westminster has agreed to share the VAT receipts with the Scottish Government. It's a cash bonanza for Scotland. But Sturgeon's crew have botched that too. Well, it seems that Derek Mackay can't crunch the numbers. In fact, and you heard it here first, there's talk of a £1 billion black hole in Mackay's budget. Spending is out of control. They're running out of money. And they're running out of excuses. The endless nationalist grievance about powers being centralised by Westminster is a bit rich coming from a Scottish government that has been doing that right here with our own local councils, including this one in Glasgow. There are councillors here who could tell you how their councils has been starved of funding by Nicola Sturgeon's government. It's been quite a ruse, ladies and gentlemen. Local councils have been left to carry the can for austerity, while Nicola has kept the cash to protect her vote-winning freebies and to jet around the world posing as a world leader. And have you heard the latest big independence idea? They want to ditch the pound and set up a separate Scottish currency. The Scottish Nationalist Party bosses say they'll only do that when the conditions are right. But the fanatics at their spring conference voted to do it as quick as possible. They were even arguing about what they would call it. Well, here's a wee suggestion from me, Nicola. You might as well call it the hee-haw, for that's all it'll be worth. Two weeks ago, and I'm not an avid reader of The Sun, Bill Leckie, a journalist in The Sun, wrote, and I quote, "Nicola Sturgeon and the Scottish National Party are a shallow shower of charlatans." He is 100% correct and have been conning the people of Scotland for years. Ladies and gentlemen, I could bore you all day in how Scotland has been failed, yes, failed, by Nicola Sturgeon and her separatist cult. I could talk about her failing health service and the crisis in education. I could talk about how you can't step onto a train these days with any certainty of getting where you want to go. But the main reason we are here today is to say to Nicola, loud and clear, if you can't run a wee pretendy parliament, you can't fool us that you're capable of running an independent country. You can bring Brigadoon to the streets of Glasgow as often as you like. We all enjoy a good laugh. But destroying the world's most successful political and economic union is no joking matter. It's a gamble with our future that we are not prepared to take. And this gathering today is just a small representation of the majority of Scots who voted against independence in 2014 and who are sick to the back teeth of being told we must have another referendum because of the Scottish Nationalist Party's obsession of independence. And what happens when you lose that referendum? And we will. Is it on to Indy Ref 3, Indy Ref 4, Indy Ref 5? With all the division and the economic uncertainty that goes with it, just to satisfy the personal obsession of Nicola Sturgeon. Nicola might think she'll wear us down eventually. Well, I've got a message for Nicola Sturgeon here today, and I'm sure you have. You will never wear down the Unionist people of Scotland. Why would we want to walk out on one of the world's oldest and most stable democracies? Why would we want to walk out on the world's fourth largest state? Why would we want to walk out on one of the world's finest defence forces? Why would we even want to walk out on family and friends who live in other parts of the United Kingdom? I believe we need to send another important message from this gathering today. It's to Scotland's Unionist parties and politicians. Despite the Scottish Nationalist Party's woeful record in government, opinion polls tell us that 1 in 3 Scots would still vote Scottish Nationalists in any future. So today I would like to ask Ruth Davison, Richard Leonard and Willie Rennie, to what extent is that your fault? Is it your fault for not holding the Nationalists to account? Is it your fault for not exposing their PR spin? Is it your fault for not presenting Scottish voters with a clear alternative to Nicola Sturgeon and the Scottish National Party? It's all very well telling Nicola to get on with the day job. You need to get on with the day job too and help us get rid of spiteful grievance nationalism. The nationalists like to accuse people like you and me of being British nationalists or Britnats. Well, I'm no nationalist. What I am is a British patriot. There's a world of difference between being a patriot motivated by love of my country and a nationalist motivated by grievance, spite and envy. I am no traitor to Scotland, and neither are you. We are just proud to be Scottish as any nationalist. Proud of Scotland, proud of our history, proud of our heritage, proud of the tolerant, democratic, welcoming nation that we are. But we are also proud to be British. Proud of the role that Scotland has played and continues to play in the United Kingdom of Scotland, England, Wales and Northern Ireland. It would be reckless for a country to secede from a long-standing political and economic union without giving proper thought to the consequences. Those are not my words. They were spoken by Nicola Sturgeon, referring to the United Kingdom leaving the EU. Well, if she thinks it's reckless to leave a union we've only been in for 50 years, how reckless is it to want out of a brilliant union that has endured for over 300 years and is the envy of the world? In closing, ladies and gentlemen, God grant that the people of Scotland will continue to value the Union and preserve in the bonds of kinship and friendship that unites all of us in these islands. Ladies and gentlemen, we are stronger together. We are British together. We are proud to be Scottish and we are proud to be British. United we stand, divided we fall. I thank you and may God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, just on your behalf, can I thank Henry for coming along here this morning and giving us such a passionate speech. This will lead us onto the streets of Glasgow. Get your flags up, be proud to wave them. Saltire flags of Scotland, Union flags of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. In 10 minutes' time, we will leave this square and we will march to Glasgow Green, proud Britons and proud Scots. Thank you all for your attendance. Thank you.
Excellent. No, I'm going to say James. Yes, I'm going to say a few words on the camera. I'm live streaming at the moment. Yeah. Yes, yes. Like, do you want to just take one or two pictures with your camera? Like, Nice dress. How do you do? I'm Alistair.
Alistair, I'm Carol. Carol, straight through once a day.
I was there, I'm live streaming this at the moment, so I'm putting it onto the internet as my organisation. It's very good.
Alright, okay.
Well,
When was this?
that was 4th of May.
That one you never down here as well? No. Why?
Absolutely, you have to.
Tell me right in the corner.
Unless they know we exist. Yeah, exactly. Maybe over on the grass.
You stay here.
Yeah, okay, I'll just say a few words. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Good to see you.
I understand that. I know.
My name's Alistair McConaughey, and I'm a director at A Force for Good, and we're here today at the Maintain the Union March. We're live streaming it. You heard the speech from Henry Dunbar from the organisation British Together. Hey, how do you do? Very well. Thanks.
Enjoy watching the video.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Excellent.
Good. Yes. Yes, indeed. Well, we need you.
That's good.
Stop that.
Doing it.
Heading out that way, Hudson Vincent Street, 3 blocks to Hope Street, it's not very far, it's 5 minutes, and then the tunnel just coming down the street. Yes, yes, absolutely. No, I was afraid that I had 50 people standing in the corner. It's a success. No question about it. Stuart.
Good to see you here,
Hi,
man.
good to see you.
Aye.
Hi,
Nice
excellent.
Thomas, nice Thomas.
Look at you.
Nice to see you again, mate. Brilliant.
So you're a Stuart today?
Well, guys from one game my best just to make it look good for the.
Is Lucy Shankley here?
No, it's not with the niece this time, with my brother. She's at home, it's actually my 40th today, so she's at home organising. That's what she is.
Excellent.
So wouldn't even going to let me come because I'm going back gaming time. No, I mean, but no, I'm gone. Even with the bad weather.
Aye.
Aye. No, all on the other stuff is small. I'm at point good to make a shirt, man. That's it, that. Well, enjoy your day. I'm going back to my crowd, right? Enjoy your day.
See you later on. You too.
Right.
So basically what we're looking at here today is the first ever pro-UK Unionist gathering that there's ever been. Even in 2014, nobody organised anything like this. The biggest march was an Orange Order march, which is a slightly different kettle of fish. This is the first big non-orange pro-UK march open to everybody. And this is the very first time that this has happened. Now, you just have to look around and see that this is a very respectable turnout for the first ever event of its kind. So what really needs to happen is that this needs to become an annual event, and it will only grow over time. And there's an awful lot more pro-UK people who will get out and march than there are Scottish nationalists. We know that. We attend all the Scottish nationalist marches, and they all just get the same types of people, and the same people, in fact. So the UK Unionist people in Scotland is a massive number of people who are just waiting to be mobilised. And I'm so glad that this was organised by British Together. Now, British Together is the political campaigning arm of the Grand Orange Lodge of Scotland. Now, some people will say, oh, I'm not an Orangeman or whatever. But the fact of the matter is there is no other organisation in Scotland that has the reach and can organise people in the way that the Grand Orange Lodge can. My organisation, of course, for good, can't do it. Other pro-UK organisations don't have the reach or ability to do it yet anyway. So it's the lodge which has to form the basis of any kind of mass mobilisation, at least in the initial stages. And so congratulations to British Together for doing that today. Congratulations. And the weather's not particularly good, but this is a very respectable turnout. Now what we're going to be doing is we are going to count them as they pass alongside George Square. And we're also going to follow the march out to Glasgow Green. So we're going to be continuing to live stream for at least the next hour or so. So please share this video, please like it, please comment on it, please get it out there. Somebody just came up to me there and said that this was a turning point in Unionist fortunes, and I completely agree with that. That's a really good way of putting it. It's a turning point. We've had enough of listening to the SNP, Scottish Nationalists, give the impression that unionism is silent, that unionism is on its way out. No, unionism is there, it's just waiting to be mobilised. And congratulations to British Together, a fantastic group of people for doing this today. Really, really good, really well done. Well done. And as you see, beautiful crowd here with saltires and Union Jacks, just as it should be. Saltires united within a wider British context. Wonderful that, as we say, Scottish and British. And Henry Dunbar, who spoke there from the platform, emphasised that the importance of being Scottish and British. And so we look forward to a good day. Now, some people say, oh, unions shouldn't march because at the end of the day, we vote at the ballot box. Well, that's a good point, we do. But a lot of unionists don't vote or forget to vote. So the next time when we can vote is this coming Thursday, the 23rd, is the European Union elections. Whatever you may think about the union, you should get out and vote for anybody other than the separatists and the Republicans, which is to say, vote for any pro-UK group that you choose to vote for, but don't vote for the SNP or the Green Party, because the Green Party are as viciously separatist and Republican, perhaps even more so, than the Scottish National Party. So we're not going to tell you who to vote for, but we're going to say don't vote for the SNP and the Greens, but please do make sure you get out and vote. Similarly, at council elections, whenever they come up, that's so important for unionists to vote at. You know, there's a lot of constituencies in the Central Belt especially that should have more pro-UK councillors than they do. They've got far too many SNP councillors, and often that's because the unionists have forgotten to vote or haven't bothered to vote. So, yeah, unionists need to vote, but we also need today to show ourselves on the street. That's so important as well. So the next time to vote is this coming Thursday, the 23rd. The constituency is Scotland, so you do have a candidate. 6 MEPs will be elected by a system of proportional representation. And polls will be open all day Thursday the 23rd. So that's the next time that unionists can vote, this coming Thursday. Another important point is that this gathering, which needs to become annual, has to happen here in Glasgow, because as my organisation, A Force for Good, is always saying, Glasgow is a great British city, and it's a great union city. It used to be called the second city of the empire, such was its effect on both the Industrial Revolution and the British Empire itself. So it is a great British city, and we're in a great British civic space here in George Square, as we heard, named after George III, the King of Great Britain and Ireland, and beautiful city chambers in the background, opened by Queen Victoria personally. So the march is beginning to head off here, so we're just going to take our camera and follow it round. We just wait here at the moment. Yeah, I think so. So I don't want to. Good to see you.
And you?
Hi. What I'm doing, I'm just filming this, and then I'm going to cross over the square and film it when it comes back round again. So I'll see you back there.
Cheers, cheers. Story, all right?
Alright, good to see you.
See you, my man. Didn't get through a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah, good. We'll be back.
Good, good, excellent. Well, I'm filming this just now, and I'm going to count it as well. It's really good time. Really
It's
good
not
time.
bad, is it?
Excellent. Yeah. See you at the green.
Will do.
Okay. When you get one or two features, you can wait Do you have your video phone on you? This is paused, unfortunately, due to poor wireless connection. Just try to get one or two photographs going right up there if you can. We'll head over this way now.
Still filming at the moment?
No.
That's fine, there's nothing. It's definitely off, yeah.